I got to get myself ready. I'm over here working on the phone. I'm sorry.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to the Purple Mic. I'm your host, Erica, and welcome to season 4. I'm joined tonight by my amazing ladies, Miss Lashana. How are you, Lashana?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. And the beautiful Miss Jalon. How are you, Jalon?
Hi, peeps. How are y'all doing?
JoJo.
Congrats. Loving the skin, glowy.
Thank you.
Up and above, our icebreaker, my co-host, one, Mr. Junior Pokenstroke. I mean, J.R. Pokenstroke.
She got it right, Lord. Right. Yes, she got it right, y'all.
Just keep me around for controversy, don't you?
Tony, how are you tonight, Tony?
I'm doing well. How are all the ladies?
Doing good.
Good.
We got a nice small crowd tonight, so this should be a really intimate conversation. Tonight's subject is WildCard, and you might be wondering what that means. We are shuffling the deck and pitching questions out to the cast and crew of the Purple Mic. Before we get started, we want to make sure that you guys please subscribe. And we hope that you guys are enjoying our new intro. So we are about to get in knee deep. So you guys ready?
Ready is ready.
Don't hesitate to chime in. First question of the night. How to know your value or what you bring to any relationship. So Jalon, I'll start with you on this question tonight. How to know your value and what you bring to a relationship.
I think part of it is getting to know yourself and the type of relationship that you want. And that can include friendships as well. Digging deep into where you see yourself and how you see yourself, how you view yourself, what you want to accomplish. I believe a lot is to be said about the company that you keep. If you keep people who are ambitious or, goal-oriented, you tend to gravitate and move towards that in your own life. And so even with a relationship, if you want a relationship where you're wanting communication and love and respect, then I think you kind of start grooming yourself to be just that to that person. And so when it comes to your value, when you have established those things and know what you want, that's kind of the gauge that you can use when it comes to relationships.
I believe my value is also based off my morals and how I live every single day. And especially when it comes to relationships, I have to make sure that person matches up with my morals and how I live for my day to day. Granted, some things may be different between us. Our baseline would definitely be the same. And then not only that, just knowing what my worth is and making sure that I stick to that and I don't change just because I really like someone.
So many people don't know themselves. They're just, watching societal standards to try and figure out what they need to do. Tony, as a man, how do you define value? How do men define value?
You know what? Before I answer that, what's so surprising that you did not go to your fallback. I'm surprised you did not say that you go to background checks or nothing to get some value. I'm surprised.
That comes after I do my assessment. I have to assess myself before I do the background check on the other individual.
Right.
6T.
6T.
Yeah, with 2 hands. Okay.
Hands full.
So anyhow, I think all you ladies hit the nail on the head, and it all comes down to what I've been saying: be honest with yourself and know your limitations.
What's the difference between love and lust, Lashana? Let's do it, honey.
You knew you
Come
were.
on, girl.
You knew
Come
you
on.
were up.
Come on.
Don't
Come
even
on.
try to act surprised.
Come on.
You knew.
Come on. I'm in love with love, and I love the lust. Come on. Come on.
All right, so
I love the lust.
Love.
Explain that.
Love is something. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's cruel. It's ugly.
Love is not cruel and ugly. It's the people that you choose to be with. Love is
It's
just
raw.
love. And it's just what it is.
It's raw. It's rough. It's ugly. You open yourself up to people. You get yourself hurt. It's
But
full
love doesn't hurt
exposure.
you.
It's a
Love,
risk.
yes, love doesn't hurt you. People hurt
It's
you. Love is just
true.
love. It is what it
True.
is. It doesn't change. It doesn't waver. It stays the same. And that's just what love is. It's the people who change. And it's the
Doesn't love
people who
evolve?
waver.
Doesn't love evolve?
No, the person
The person.
evolves. Love stays the same. Does it grow? Yes. But the person changes and the person evolves. Love grows. So that's something that, but it also has to be fed and nurtured and cultivated and protected. And you have to make a decision and a choice that this is where I'm going to be. This is the person that I love, and this is the person that I want to give it to. It's that other person's decision to take it and give it back to, and give their love that they have for you back to the other person, and for you to love, for you to cultivate that and to help it grow, and you guys manifest things together within that love. So that is love. No matter what, we're always going to be here with one another and remembering the reason why we love one another. And love helps you get in sync with that person and knowing that person and allowing that person to grow and to evolve, because sometimes we don't want our partner to evolve because we're used to them being who they were, and it's not okay, because everybody changes, everybody evolves. So love helps you and allows you to do that, and then for you to continue to love them as they change, as they evolve, and for you to do the same. Lust,
Okay,
on the other hand,
before you go into lust, let me break this down for the men who didn't quite grasp everything that you put on the table. In layman's
Okay.
terms, fellas, love needs to be fed and fucked, basically. That's all it
Okay.
is.
Okay, I guess for the men, but for the women,
Hey.
y'all get me.
I didn't get it at first.
Right. You had to throw that in there, though.
He did. He had to put a disclaimer in there.
Oh, yes.
This is a disclaimer for the men.
Exactly.
Lust is, I feel like lust can be a primal type of thing. It's one of those things that you can meet the right person, wrong time, and you have that primal instinct that, like, I gotta do this with this person, and that's just what it is, and it doesn't move outside of that. So it's, even in, like, when you have like that little puppy love, when you first meet someone and you like them, you kind of lust after them. Oh, he cute, she cute, and you lusting after their looks and their body, and you think sexual things, but sometimes it just stays there. It doesn't evolve. So you're just there in that lust phase.
It's like an infatuation.
Yeah, it's like an infatuation, and it doesn't change. It doesn't move anywhere. And then you're like, okay, well, let's see what we have in common outside the bedroom. And you realize all we got in common is the bedroom. And you just got to know, either leave it there or just continue to,
And can
bang
love
it out.
be mistaken for lust, and can lust be mistaken for love?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so. It can.
Yeah, because infatuation gets twisted with love all the time.
Yeah, it really does. But I do believe that sometimes those two things are interchangeable, but it takes a person who is emotionally intelligent to realize the difference between the two and how to switch and move.
You said the words that most men can't handle. You just said it.
Emotionally intelligent?
Thank you. You just lost 75% of them. You just lost them.
Men have emotional intelligence.
I feel like there are
They do, but it's on a very primal level.
Right. And
there are very few of us who can understand what we feel and be able to conversationally, vocabulary express it in a cohesive manner.
But why is that, though?
True. Because they're wired differently.
Because it's the way you're
well, that's one thing, but the other thing to that is we as men coming up, we don't get that when we're young.
Growing up, that's
we don't get that.
Yeah, you don't get that. Like that's that is something that has to be taught at a young age. But because, especially for, I would say African American males, because they already have so many strikes up against them. 1, they're a male. 2, they're Black. And 3, either and I hate to say this, but sometimes they're either raised in a single parent household by a female. And sometimes that mother is a toxic mother, and she does not allow him to be that. Or they have a father who is like, don't cry, men, boys are not supposed to cry, toughen up, suck it up, that they hear that type of thing over and over. You cannot be in an emotional state every second of the day.
Right.
There's a time and a place for it, so it's a fine tune, it's a fine line for males, period.
Yeah.
It really is.
So any of you directors out there, y'all need to make a waiting to exhale for men.
True.
Knocking on Babyface's door.
Mhm.
Do professional matchmakers work? Lashana.
Ooh, can
Well,
I
I
go?
don't need
Can
no
I go? Can I go? Can I go?
I don't need a professional matchmaker. I can match myself.
So I have
you done
used I have used a professional matchmaker before
A merch
when I was
Merch
there
marker?
when I lived in Georgia.
Oh,
Did
Yeah,
you
where in
I-
Georgia?
Yes, there was I forgot what the name of it was, but it's solely catered to people that were professionals in their field. That's all they did. Granted, they did a piss poor job, but still, it's available. It was available.
You did a piss poor job.
Right.
Oh yeah, it really did.
So do you think those blind date little things where you sit down in front of the person, you talk for 5 seconds, and you move to the
I
next
use some speed dating.
Yeah, speed dating. Do you think that works?
Never tried it.
Okay, so I did a professional matchmaker. They had set me up with this guy, and I was like, okay, cool, it's nice. But then it took a left turn, and because they didn't quite what I put on my paper is not what I got, and I was just like, this is not it. This is not it. And then I've done speed dating before. Speed dating it was fun. I can honestly say it was a fun experience. Not something I'd be like, hey, let me take you, let me get a chance to get to know you. I didn't meet anybody that I was just wanted to. Okay, this has potential. It was always like next. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
But especially around like Valentine's Day, Christmas.
The lonely holidays.
Yeah, all of those holidays, they definitely have those things like popping up like left and right. And so I decided to do one. But like I said, it was a good experience, and it let me know what it was going to be like out here. Because
was it hard out there for a pimp?
It was hard out there for a pimp. I can't. I was just like, oh my God, if this is what's out here, I need to be by myself because I'd be happy with me and my vibrator all by ourselves.
So would you say that it works, Lashana?
It depends. It depends on how much. The crazy part is what I learned about it sometimes is that it depends on how much money you're willing to pay. Because it's like they have tiers of men based off like how much you pay.
Oh, it's levels and tiers.
There you go.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Right there.
There you go. It's like it's based off of like how much you like. So if you pay this amount, you get this type of caliber of men that they have in this pool. You pay this amount, you got another one. You pay this thing. And then it's like, so I got to pay all this money just get the upper echelon type of man. Like I got.
Oh yeah, you have to pay as you move up.
Mm-hmm.
How much? Ballpark? How much is it?
At the time when I did it, the first one was like 500, and that was like the lowest.
Whoa.
The next one was like 12, and then like the highest was like 15 up to like 2,000 or 3,000. So
then you could still come out empty-handed.
Yeah, just to meet someone.
Never mind.
Professional matchmakers are super paid and super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have their own reality TV show now, so it's a thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something. If the universe didn't do it, I don't want it.
that's it.
That part.
That right there.
Okay, nobody. Okay.
Free 99.
Thank you.
I mean, but I get why there are certain women who do it because they don't have the time to. Like, they literally don't have the
They just
time
have the
to
money.
go out. Yeah, because they're like Tony said, they are the professional women who have gone to college and who has the last thing that has working at a Fortune 500 company and or owning their own business.
Is love really about finding a partner in close proximity?
I think everything is about proximity. You find that person because you find that attractive person because you find out, hey, they were close by. Y'all meet at the grocery store. You see them at the bank or some crazy festival or something. Like, come to find out, hey, they wasn't that far away from you in the first place. I think everything is about proximity. What about you, Miss LaShawna? Didn't you say you were seeing somebody? Was that proximity?
Was that proximity?
You said that so fast.
Was that proximity?
You said that so fast. It was proximity, like meeting him by chance. One of my relationships was not by proximity. It was
I think it's serendipitous sometimes, though. I mean, you could literally meet someone and not see them for some time, and they go their way. You go, and sometimes you be somewhere else. That's happened to me. I met someone, Jelana and I. We met someone in Tennessee, and long and behold, saw them again here in Atlanta, just random. So I think there's so many ways that love can happen.
Is that a good example?
Okay, I remember. Is it the story?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
But I get the point.
No way. Yeah, because there was an interest there. Had I said yes, then it would have turned into something, But, you just never know where you are, and you meet that one person, and it could change your life. And before you know it, it's like your worlds apart, but your hearts are together as one.
Aww.
What role do friends of the opposite sex play on relationships?
Ooh, that's a nice one right there.
Tony, do this one. Do this one, Tony.
Ooh. It has been in my life that friends of the opposite sex usually are the haters.
Okay.
Oh,
thank you.
It has been
Sometimes
that in
that's
my
true.
life. They have been the haters.
Sometimes, all the time. Like, you may have that one friend that's like rooting for you, but everybody else in the group be like, And
it's always
they're the opposite sex.
It's a mixed bags of reason for why they hating, and I never could quite grasp why that. And I'm like, that's true. But it's
crazy.
always hate. They always got something bad. They pick apart the relationship.
Erica,
They
what is so funny?
Sheer jealousy.
For no reason.
Yeah.
What is so funny over there?
That's because that's because the caramel captain right here is speaking the truth. She knows she didn't seen some things in life.
It's hard. I've had friends like that. I was friends with Mel, we were Mel friends, and I had a Mel. He was my friend, and when he got a girlfriend, I'm like, okay, cool. He let me meet her. We kicked it, went out. I took him out, everything, and then he came out. He was like, "Hey, she don't want me hanging out with you no more." But what? I don't want you. Like, I don't want you at all. Like, we're just friends.
I mean, I kind of understand it though, because things could change. Like, you could just be having a vulnerable moment and you slipped up one night, or anything can happen. And where there's smoke, there's fire.
What?
No,
but she posed it like LaShawna was doing something in her eyes to make her believe that she wanted him, and that's not fair.
Well, I'm not saying about LaShawna's experience. I'm just saying in general. Like,
but even if you put it in a context of just in general, that's hard, because say for instance, you and Tony been friends for over 10 plus years.
20 plus
longer than that.
20 longer than that. 20 plus years. He meets someone. They meet you. Look, matter of fact, you guys go on a double date. Let's just put it in perspective. You guys go on a double date to get a chance to get to know each other's significant others. Your significant other, Erica, is cool with you being friends with Tony, but his significant other is like, nah, I don't want you talking to her.
Oh, that's true story. That's true story. That already happened.
I don't want you dealing with
Right.
her.
That's what I thought that happened
That
for
already
real.
happened.
And
That
see,
really happened. And it happened with Jamal too.
see,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. But you have no, in your mind, you've made up, we're just friends. Even the guy has made up in his mind, I am just your friend. There's no ulterior motive behind it. They're not even doing subliminal type stuff that can make you feel, that can make your significant other. But because I feel like if that person is secure enough, because I'm one of those people, I'm secure enough in myself that if you choose to have a female friend, and she was your friend before me, and this is the thing about it, before me, it's different when you meet after me. I'm a question. I got a question. Mm-hmm. But if that was your friend before me, you guys were friends for 10, 15, 20 plus years, I am not going to sit up here and tell you you cannot be friends with that person, because you know what? That shows that I'm insecure somewhere, and somewhere down the line, I'm gonna make this a problem. You know why? Because I'm insecure about something. No, to me, that's unfair.
I don't know, kind of 50-50 on this one. Like, I just recently met my friend, and I'm obsessed with her. Like, I'm like, if you were to tell me right now, like, we're out and we're having drinks or we're having dinner, I'd be like, damn, I'm jealous I'm not there. Because I was that obsessed with her. Like, she's amazing. So I think it just depends. But you are right. If that person was there first, who are you to come in?
Right.
If they've had decades of friendship, like
absolutely,
like me and Tony, right. Like Tony's family, like, no, absolutely not.
That's kind of like saying, now that you've been family for over 20 years, and all of a sudden now you have a man, now he's trying to get with you. That doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever.
He had the opportunity all them 20 years.
Person, because I would be telling him, why don't you meet Tony and get to know Tony?
Exactly.
That part.
Part. Mm-hmm. Trying to extract him, exile him.
He is like Drake, no new friends after we're in a relationship, because then at that point you're an acquaintance. And that's what you're going to be.
Yeah.
This is where the issue come in at. Right. Yeah. This is what the issue comes in at.
Tony, what are your thoughts on that?
He's like, what the
well, I can't make no new friends.
Thank you for being my friend when I needed one.
Hey.
You know that's
where that raggedy Negro come from? Where you come from?
You know that's our song, right? He said, where that raggedy Negro come from?
All of a sudden. Why I can't have no friends? I'm trying to figure out why I can't have no friends.
You can't have no new friends.
No new friends.
I can't have no new friends.
Like I said, Drake said no new friends.
You can't even have new. You can't have no new or new. Only person you can have is Erica. That's it. Wherever she at, her point. There she go, right there.
Done.
Over there.
Hey, I ain't got no problem. I'm sorry. I ain't got no problem with that ball and chain.
Right,
ball and chain.
Yeah, we joined at the hip. We ain't going nowhere. We joined at the hip. Nowhere. Hey,
we'll always know what his place is with you. Attached to the hip. Right. Look, when you move, I move just like that. If you're mature enough and you can look past like this, these people have been friends. This is like someone, they're looking at each other like brother and sister. And I get it, brother and sister sometimes get that wrong connotation. You're like, oh, that's your brother, like brother, or like brother.
Right. Define brother.
Right. But if they've been knowing each other for over 10 plus years, that's my bro. Like, that's my brother right there. Like, that's just what it is. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less.
So your mate fell ill and suffered from a debilitating illness, or they were injured and unable to perform sexually, or even relied on you full time. Would you stay with the person and why?
I'm out.
Are we married?
What?
Right. Are we married?
Are we married?
Oh my gosh, you guys are horrible. No, like, I've been in a situation where I had to deal with someone who was like medically ill with like gastrointestinal. I wasn't prepared to actually deal with that without getting too forward. When I say gastrointestinal, you know where intestines lead to. But I had to do a lot of the things that you do when you're in partnership with someone. At least I felt that's what you do when you're in partnership. And what I mean by partnership is we were married.
Okay, see, that's the difference. They
Yeah,
said mate. That's all we asked. Are we married? Because see, if we not married, that right there, totally different thing. Now, if we married because I took my vows and my vows said till death do you part.
I love it. I love
For
it.
better or for worse.
I love that.
Okay.
Fingers.
That's what it said. But since I'm not married to you and you're just my mate,
Okay, here's the twist in that.
I couldn't do that.
Here's the twist now.
what is it?
So what if that person is unable to satisfy you sexually and they tell you, hey, go out, I know I can't do this for you anymore, go out and get your thing on, would you do it?
No, because I feel like
that's a heavy breathe. She heavy breathing over there. That's conscious at work right there.
See, what happened was
I tripped and fell on his dick.
All right now.
Ways to have sex though,
And I liked it.
like
You said-
he could be verbal with you, and you can use toys, and he could still use things on you and get you there and aroused. And there are so many beautiful, intimate ways to be one with your mate.
Keep this at its base level. DNP.
Not because a lot of things are what
We
they
ain't giving
are.
him up. That's all. Let's make that very clear. Nope. I said ball and chain for you. You ain't giving it up at
No.
all.
And that's fine. That's why I threw.
That's fine.
That's why I threw it out there. That's perfectly fine. If you in it for the long haul, that's a beautiful thing. More power to you. But there are a lot of motherfuckers that's gonna jump ship.
You guys are
They're
out.
gonna sink their own ship.
I will stay. Honestly, I will stay up to the point where I realize that it's not working.
Erica cannot fathom this thought at all. It's just right
because
over
it's
her
different.
head.
Like it's
I know
different
she
if I
can't.
was married.
She can't
to
wrap
that.
her head
Like,
around it.
if I was married, if I was married, yes, you got me till death do us part. To you pass
Sickness
on
and health,
whoever
all
comes
of it.
first. Yes, but if we're just in a relationship and you fall ill, I promise you, I will be there to support you 110%, and I will get you there until you know, like.
I wish Clay was here, because Clay has dated people who have been like, you know, in certain circumstances where they didn't have all of their things like hands or legs or whatever. But like
But that vagina still work.
Well,
yeah, but
yeah.
Yes.
There's a liability in having to carry someone everywhere and having to transport, you know, their durable medical equipment everywhere, and having to make all these modifications to your home so they can get up and down the stairs or even get into the restroom and taking a shower. Like, your life is inconvenienced or impeded by their circumstances. And then if they come in the relationship with a child on top of that, like, you're assuming a lot of responsibility. So this is not really just about sex anymore. This is time.
Right. And if that person has the time or see, the thing of it is not about that. It's the fact that the person has the grace to deal with it or not. Mm-hmm. That is the thing. If they don't have the grace to deal with it, they're going to be out regardless if they're married or if they're just in a plain old relationship with that person. It's all about how much grace they have. And if they don't have that much grace for that, it doesn't matter how much they love them. It's the grace for it.
So weird, because like, if a person makes you feel so good inside and yet you can't align sexually, but you have such an amazing experience with that person, like,
that ain't making you feel good inside.
It is mentally, emotionally, like, but you can't connect like 100% sexually. Like that's so.
But you know, but
that's the part that makes you feel good inside.
Because that's the part that connects all of those things. Like, so they can make like the emotional, the spiritual,
not
intellectual, and then it's the physical, and all of those things combat and are compressed all together when we go just like this. Okay.
Wow, that's not true.
I can feel all of that.
Yes, it is. How many times when you had sex, you said, "Oh God, oh God, oh God."
This man.
I don't find that to be true at all.
So, Erica, let me ask you this. So you are okay with if sex just stopped for you, you're okay with that?
Yes, I could do a sexless marriage. I said this before on the show. If I were,
she has said that.
I'm asking again because I couldn't believe it. You're okay with that?
I could do that. I could do that.
But what about the people who can't?
No, I'm saying that's them, but I'm only speaking for me.
Okay.
When I'm in it and I'm enjoying it, sure, it feels amazing. And I'm in that moment, in that space with that person, connecting with them intimately. But there are so many other ways to connect. And I don't think as people, we cherish and value that.
I know we do. We just
I think people who have sex do cherish and value that.
They do,
but they just add the cherry on top.
People who have sex.
No. But I think what you're saying to me, it seems like people who have sex along with all that stuff can't just take sex away and say, "Oh, my relationship will still be great if I don't have it." I'm like, but why would you if it's good? Why would you take that away?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Just to say you can connect on another level. Like, why? When sex is an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Again, this is a circumstance. So it's not saying that you want it removed, but if there's a circumstance where he couldn't perform sexually, or he relied on you full time, or he had a debilitating whatever illness, or something happened, a collision, and he lost a limb or something, he would just stop loving the individual and leave?
No. I'm not saying that. But see, what LaShawna was questioning was, are we married or is this just someone I'm with?
Because that makes a big difference.
But if you're with a person and this happened to them and you were happy before this happened to them, why would you leave them?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I would just outright leave you.
Tony said yes.
Tony said yes.
Tony, you're evil.
Look, there are level and tiers to this, okay?
No, he didn't say level and tiers.
I'm not gonna just pack my shit tomorrow and say I'm out, okay? It's gonna be some time going by before I get to that point.
Tiers. Right. That's why I said it's the grace that the person has, because if you don't have, like, let's just say, for instance, if you are, hypothetically, you're picking up someone all the time, your coworker, you're picking them up all the time, and they don't ever give you no gas. They don't ever say thank you. They don't ever, or even if they do give you gas and they do say thank you, you only have but so much grace. And
I'm sorry, but you're a sex camel, okay?
What does that
mean?
Yeah, you sex camel.
I'm a sex. What does that mean?
Because the camel doesn't have to drink a lot of water. It holds the water in its hump, and it can go for long periods of time, for like 3 or 4 months without having to drink any water. But it holds water in its hump, so that's why he call you a sex camel, because you can go out for a long time.
Sex for a long time. You're sex camel. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Why? Listen, when you start to get in tune with your soul, you don't need all that. It's just an amazing thing. You don't need all of that.
Okay, look, let me tap you into something real quick. Every man gets in touch with his soul at least 2 to 3 times a week. There's a bottle of Jergens next to the bed. He getting in touch with his soul every 2 to 3 weeks, every 2 to 3 days out of the week. I'm talking about touching souls here.
Because Joanna likes her soul to be snatched
at
any given point. She's with her significant other.
And look, and then you got the camel. You got the camel over there.
Snatch to the max, and we have the camel.
I think there's something so beautiful about just nurturing people.
Yep.
Oh, there's
while we're
nothing
taking
wrong
our
with that.
clothes
Don't
But
take
off.
it's
it wrong with
nothing wrong with that. But the
don't
thing
take
of it
nothing
is,
wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
I'm
it's
joking
nothing
with you.
wrong
I'm
with it.
messing with you, but at a certain point, that is a bit odd that you can go without sex and be perfect.
But to be honest, all women can. All women can actually go without
We
having
can.
I
sex.
know every man knows that.
And, like, all women can do this. Period.
Sex to me is like the last thing. It's like
We know that.
We know. And you said that you watched Love, Sex, and Goop, right? You said you watch it all the way through?
yeah.
Go back and watch it again and pay a little bit closer attention to that Black couple, to any of the couples. Go back and pay attention.
I think it's one of those things where you have to find it for yourself what sex is, because people have sex with themselves. I mean, like we talked about polygamy last week. People who marry and spend their lives alone. That doesn't mean that they have to go and have casual sex with anyone. That doesn't mean that they're not in tune with their sexuality. It just means that they're dedicating their life to themselves. So it's just one of those things where you have to figure out what makes you happy. And sex is not the end all, be all for me. I think the togetherness and understanding the real virtue and the foundation of your relationship.
I think you
Emotionally,
need to take some time and touch yourself for a while and figure some things out.
spiritually, I think all those things matter. And a real cause for that reason is because of everything I went through. Sex was always at the forefront and nothing else manifested
In
as
that
a
sense,
result
it was,
from us not
it
being
was
connected.
misused, and so that could
Yeah.
warp your perception of what sex really is, because God created it and said it was good, and it was good for a reason.
It's
And-
good for marriage mates.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, but
Casually and not for meaningless, purposeless pleasure.
correct. But when some people
What
use
do you
it as
say
a
to them
weapon.
people who are sex addicts? What do you tell them?
People use it as a weapon, and so they use it to control and use it in the wrong context, and so
Right.
that can definitely be a detriment to a relationship.
Yeah.
And cause someone to now go in a different direction and say, well, I'm going to take sex away from it because it's been used and
it's been
misused and been
warped
abused, right?
But it perverted,
Exactly.
Yeah.
In marriage, that's a part of marriage. Consummation is part of getting
It's a
married.
part of
It's
marriage.
not just saying I do. That's how you really say I'm married, is by consummating. So
regularly.
No.
Tony,
Y'all two have
quiet.
said marriage is the everything, the piece of paper and everything. Don't try and dwindle it down to just the sex, because that sounds like some shit. That sounds like some shit that come from me. It's just marriage is just the sex.
No, but you
But
get what I'm
also-
saying.
Right.
So-
But I also think that when you find someone who is sexually compatible with you, you can say your aunties and uncles, they can say that. You know why? Because you're sexually compatible in that way. They found a person who is like them that is compatible with them sexually.
Exactly.
But and that's fine, because that's where they are. And it's not saying that it's not saying that for other couples. Like for me, I know that I'm a very spiritual type person. And so I know that the person that I'm going to be with, they have to be spiritually in tune just like I am. They're going to have to meet me at my needs, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, all of those things. Intellectually, I know what I know. But not only that, I'm going to have to meet that person, my significant other, in that arena too. But also, I'm going to have to ask those hard questions, like how about your sex drive? How high is it? Is it low? Is it high? Is it medium? I mean, how often do you want it? So you have to have those conversations. But back to the question, I just do, like I said, I do feel like if we're married, yes, I'm there with you 110%, because yes, I took those vows and those vows mean something to me. Now, if we're just in a relationship and these things happen with you, yes, I will be there with you. But there's also a thing of, okay, but now we have to shift, and now we have to think about where this relationship is going to go. is this relationship going to be feasible? And are my needs going to be met in this relationship? Not my wants, my needs, because my wants and my needs are two different things. Because my wants is something that I want. My needs are things that need to be met with me. So are they going to be met? Is this person going to be able to continually to fulfill and meet those needs? And I don't mean physically either. It can be emotionally. It could be, spiritually. It could be intellectually. It could be all of those things. Can they continue to meet those needs in that type of aspect? Granted that these things have happened to them, but can they meet those needs? Not only that, a lot of times your needs are going to go on the back burner, and their needs and their wants are going to be on the forefront because of these things happen. And it's going to take a minute before that person is able to give you those things. And the question, and again, it always goes back to grace or understanding. How much grace do you have to wait until that person, you able to come back around and this person's able to meet your needs and your wants? And that's the thing about it. So those are the things that you have to take in consideration. Can you do that? Marriage, yeah, I knew a pastor who his wife had cancer. He stayed with her for forever till she passed away.
Yeah,
Till death do them part. He did. Took care of her, loved on her, gave her what she needed, everything.
I think it's all contingent on what you need.
Yeah, I mean, and that's all it is. It's circumstantial. It's based off what you need.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I think we're heartless human beings. If something were to happen, we'll just be like, I'm out, like Tony said. But like you said, you would consider
right
what you need.
Yeah.
And make a decision from there.
And make those decisions.
I mean, it's gonna be a hard one because, if you truly love this person and you want to see it work, but life has changed, some changes are gonna have to be made within the relationship, within yourself. A lot of people are kind of selfish, and so there's a lot to consider, and so therein is where the decision must be made, not just jump ship like Tony.
Y'all all gonna be bouncing. Let that shit happen.
I say you stay and you do.
Look, everybody but Erica, they're gonna be bouncing. Erica gonna be like, "Oh, I love him so much, even though his dick's broke. His dick is broke, but he's still a wonderful person. I love him to death."
Thank you for being my friend.
Negro is a kid.
That's what he's gonna be singing. He's gonna be singing that.
Yes,
who is that anonymous Negro?
A friend. And she's just gonna be like, I love him so much. That is my friend. He just gets me. We're just so in tune with one another. I don't have to worry about anything. He just understands who I am and where I am right now. And the best part is, I don't have to have sex because we connect on all other levels. But
bingo, very nice.
That would be her all the way.
That is enough. Because I don't like all the extra. If it doesn't have to do, like if we go there, then it's amazing, like I said. But without it, I'm good. Everybody's
1 out of 4. Okay, next.
Well, that's our time this evening, guys. Thank you so much for watching the Purple Mic. If you haven't already, please subscribe, share, comment, and like. I'd like to remind you guys that we are live every Monday and Thursday. Tony, Lashana, and Jalon, thank you so much for your time this evening. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Good night.